At the cabin build, I will be using Halo LED recessed downlights. I have 157 downlights going into the cabin. Today I'm going to show you an install of these 4-inch value 4-packs. Now you might remember I put the rough-in electrical up here. I've got 3 lights going along this run and 3 lights going along this run. My wires are already up there and stapled, brought back to this switch that's right over here. So today I'm going to show you my process of actually installing these 4-inch Halo downlights. This has literally been my go-to light since they've come out with LED downlights. With the 4-inch recessed lights, I need to create a hole in the drywall. I like to use a hole saw. On the instructions, they're recommending I drill a 4 3/16 hole. So I've got a 4 1/8 hole saw. Now this is great. It's just shy of the 3/16 size, but when it goes up into it, it always rattles a tiny little bit. So I find that this 4 1/8 Lennox hole saw is the exact one you need. Now, when I'm drilling these out, they're gonna shoot dust at me. I really hate that. So I'm gonna show you how to make a little jig, just like my last video. I don't have my old jig, but I can make a quick one right now. I like to make a collar from here, just shy of the flange, so that when I drill the hole, dust will fall right into it. Now I've got this little pail. An ice cream pail would work. Anything would really work that is circular like this. Quite easy to make. So I'm gonna measure in from here, like a quarter down from the teeth. Maybe I'll go half down from the teeth. And then the stopping point is gonna be right there. So I've gotta measure. So I've got 3 inches from here to there. I'm going to take my pail and mark that 3-inch line all the way around. Now be careful, brand new blade, super sharp. Cutting pails is kind of tricky. Now I just got to put a hole right there and attach it to my bed. There's your jig, or your drywall catcher, or whatever you want to call it. Now I suggest really drilling these slow. So now I'm going to mark out my lines and show you how to drill the holes. Alright, I've got my 6 locations marked out with X's. Got my drill ready to go. Make sure you pile it in nice and slow, and this is where you want to hold your drill very firm. Woo! And I overshot it that first time, so a little dust came down. But look, I pretty well caught everything. So I'll go over a garbage can and spin that out, and I'll show you, I'll literally get nothing on the floor. Nothing came down on that one. So I've separated the driver from the lights. Here's the 5 different light settings right on the side here. So if I want it really bright, I'm gonna go to the 5000K. It's kind of a white light like these work lights. If I want it really soft, I'll do the 27K, but I'll show you all the ranges so you can see here. So right now I'm just looking at the size driver box so I know how much wire that I can feed into it. Here's one of the nicest features. See these halos? They have quick connects. So you don't need to moret yourself. You just strip your wire to that like 7/8 to like 3/4 to 7/8 length and just jam it into the matching color that it needs to go with. And they give you a punch out on each side for the 40/40 connector. What I like to do is when I get these done, is stuff them up and get a screw into them. Inspectors really like to see the driver boxes mounted to the side or to the underside of where you're going. If you're in a hard circumstance where you can't do that, you can rest them inside on the top there. There is no harm in that. It's just the inspectors, if you're doing this, they sometimes like to see these drivers mounted with the 2 screws. So basically, gotta get that wire in there. So I'll just do my normal length, probably put them in and then fold the wires back. Remember, when you're punching through the jacket, make sure that you start out by going dead center of the wire and then press and hit that copper wire. And then you gotta slightly push it over to left or right to not nick the wire that's inside. So I usually use my knife to get the same marking each time. And there's the poke and there's the pierce. So drag it down. There's the poke, there's the pierce. And then always cut it off with like away from you. Now I've always loved to tape my wires together. I feel it kind of just keeps everything more connected. So when taping the wires, leave about a 1/4 inch of the jacket visible. You're gonna stuff it right into the 40/40 connector, but you're gonna wanna still be able to see where you made the cuts on the wire to see if there's any nicks, or anybody else that pulls the light down can check and be like, oh, this guy didn't nick the wire, there's how far his knife is. So put the 2 wires together, skip up 1/4 inch. All right, now I've got all the wires taped together. It's time to use your strippers. And it's 14/2 wire, so use the 14/2 slot and strip it off. Like I said, about 3/4 to 7/8 in length to put into that quick connect. That's looking really good. All the wires are stripped. Now I'm gonna go get the 40/40 connectors and begin inserting those into the driver boxes and then sliding them up onto the wires. They supply me these tabs, so I could pop these black tabs out and slide them in. I really prefer to use the 40/40 connector and pop a hole out and go in. So to do that, I'm gonna get a flathead screwdriver, get in there, and twist it around. Now pick what side is best for you, for your install. They give you one on this side, and they give you one on this side. Or use the tabs or the Romex traps, but like I said, it's nicer to keep the wires together. So I've got the hole there. Now I've got my metal 40/40. These also come in plastic, but connecting to metal, my opinion, use metal. Now sometimes to get these in a little easier, don't force them. Back the saddle back a little bit, and it makes it more flexible to squeeze this shut to fit it into the hole. See how easy that was? Now, this is why I like going in with the connector. So now I'm gonna go like this. And feed all the wires together. And sometimes I'll give them a little kink like that so they come out. Watch. There they are. Then I go up to my tape, and that's a bit tight. Now I'm right in there on my tape with the jacket a 1/4 inch hot. I'm gonna tighten my 40/40 clamp on that. You can see why I tape them together now, because it just makes it so much easier just to keep them in the same spot when the jacket comes through. Check that out. Perfect. Best packaging out of any light I've ever seen. Okay, all the lights are attached to the 40/40 connectors, and the wires are brought in through right to the perfect spot where I can see a 1/4 inch of the jacket, and I'm literally clamping on my electrical tape that I wrapped around. So this is perfect. So this is why I'm at the stage where I can show you why I love these quick connects so much. In the old times, I would twist all the wires together and have to put them red. In these ones, grab your 2 ground wires, and they just pop right in. So I usually pop those in first, get rid of them back there. And now I'll take the neutral, jam that in there. Now I'll take the hot. Now that's perfect. Not too much going on inside the box, enough room to stuff it all back in, and close her off. So now this is ready to be tucked up here and fastened. And all I need to finish the light is this tail. So those finish really quick. It's a little tricky sometimes to get them fastened up there after, but with a long drill bit extension, you can get it. Let's do another one. Got the ground, click. It's all the way in. Now I know people are gonna ask me, how do I decide which side of the driver to go into? If you go in the side with the wire, you have to kind of kink these back to get the length in. So most times I like to go in on the opposite side of where the wires from the supplier are, because then I can just tag them up straight and fold it in rather than having to fold my wire first like this and then spin the connector like that. So again, see, I'm gonna try to avoid that by putting the connector in on the other side. And my key thing with these is consistency. Length of your wire, if it fits in the first one easy, it should all fit the same time or into the next one. And just make sure you're doing like the repetitive work so that it works the exact same every time. Again, there's another one ready. I'm gonna leave these down because I want to show you guys the different light settings before I pop them back up. And when you're putting these in, it's very important that there's no bare wire showing. There's another one, perfect. All right, all the driver boxes have been tied into, connected, and I'm ready to slide those up. But for your guys' sake, I'm gonna put the lights on and show you the 5 different light settings. Very easy, just push the prongs back in and tighten the coupling. Okay, so this one is on and operating. It's on the lowest setting. Let's go through it. That's the lowest. Okay, that's the lowest setting. Next. Next, next, next. That's the last setting. So ice white, you just kind of select it to what room you want. Yellow, white. Very different spectrum. It's nice to have five choices. So I'm gonna set them all at white light just to see how bright it is in here. All the lights are switched to the 5K setting, so you can see it's really kind of the white light. And you might have thought I had too many in at the start, but this is gonna be a really well lit room on a dimmer. And sometimes with lighting, more is better, and just to put a dimmer on so that you don't get left without even lighting. So what I'm gonna do now is push every driver box up, get a screw into those, and then I'll pop the lights in for you guys. Never force your wires or kink your wires getting your boxes up. Just kind of feel what's gonna be the best way for it to go up there. It's nice to leave yourself access to that switch if you do want to change your light settings. Alright, now the driver box is fastened. I'm going to flip the tabs back. That's a finished light right there. That wraps up the install of these 4-inch halo recessed downlights. After this, there'll be a 2-minute clip to show you how we got here. It's kind of highlighting the framing, and I will show you how I put the rough-in electrical in there before this video started.